Hey, Anthony Tilley here, and welcome to episode 27 of the Solopreneur Show.
Welcome to the Solopreneur Show with your host, Anthony Tilley. To get your hands on more great business training and advice, plus the chance to join our free Facebook group where you will see extended guest interviews and behind-the-scenes access to Anthony, go to www.thesolopreneurshow.com and join us today. And here's your host, the man himself, Mr. Anthony Tilley.
Hey, Anthony here. Welcome to the show. It really is great to have you with me today. Now, of course, it's Thursday, which means it's expert interview day. And today we have a real expert in the shape of Meredith Watson. Now, Meredith, she's not a big name, but she is somebody who I was so super pleased to have on the show because we've got that multi-layer thing going on again here. We've got somebody who has made the transition from corporate life to their own home-based business. She schools her daughter from home as well. So she really is just living the dream of spending time with her family, spending time with her clients, and creating a great income at the same time. She is a very smart lady. She is somebody who is really awesome at selling, setting up sales funnels, and helping people, as I like to do here with you guys, helping people to create profits from their passion. So really great interview, a lovely lady, and I'm really proud to present the Meredith Watson interview. I'm joined today by Meredith Wilson, who has come on the call today, and without a shadow of a doubt, Meredith is the most qualified, I better not say the most intelligent Meredith because I might get upset, I might upset the other guests, but most definitely the most qualified guest we've ever had on the show. And the reason why I've got Meredith on is because not only is she doing something really awesome to help coaches and service providers, consultants, etc., but she's also somebody who's made the transition from the corporate world as well. So I really wanted to get her on to give her insight of making that transition across. So Meredith, welcome to the show. It really is great to see you.
It's wonderful. I've been a fan of yours for quite a while, and I'm so excited to be here. I am Meredith, and I am what I call the Mac Boss sales coach. I help clients to bolster my clients' confidence so they can go into this sale with confidence, ease, grace, tenacity, and authenticity. And there's, of course, 3 sections to what I offer, what I help them with to kind of overcome their limiting beliefs so they can market the business of their dreams. And then there's a passive income and sales funnel mastery component where I coach them in that area so that they don't have to hustle so much. And, of course, my zone of genius where I help them with their sales calls. And life is always about sales, whether you're with your mate, your children, wherever you go, you're selling something, an idea, the way of doing something. And all of my clients, we're all building a transformation. We're taking our clients from where they are to where they want to be as effortlessly as possible. And I was in the corporate America, and I loved it. It was wonderful, and I was also teaching, and I was also a principal. I've done a varied amount of things. But then I had my daughter, and I knew I did not want to leave her in daycare. Nothing wrong with daycare, but I knew that I wanted to watch every moment, never miss a moment. So I amped up my corporate skills and turned it into coaching. And it's really been blossoming. And my daughter's 5. I homeschool her, and it's been wonderful. I get to help people, be with my daughter, travel. It was a very nice, interesting transition.
Awesome. No, that's really good. That's really good. Thank you for giving us that. That's the thing that sort of struck me. Well, when I first sort of did my research, etc., for the interview and had a look. The first thing we've got to talk about. And I can't remember them off the top of my head because there's so many of them. Talk me through all of these degrees and PhDs, etc., that you've got. It's because it's just phenomenal.
I love to learn. I did all of my schooling at the beginning. Then I got married and had a family. I have an undergraduate degree in psychology, child and family studies, legal science, which means I can practice law, but I have decided to be a mediator. I didn't like going in front of people in court. And I have a business background. My MBA is with an emphasis in consumer behavior, which is business for psychology. At least that's what I think. I have a master's in religion, which because I thought I was going to be a pastor, and I was for a little while, but it didn't suit me the way I thought it would. And then I say this, and it's so funny, I accidentally got a PhD.
Yeah, it happens to me all the time. You know, remember, I'm just walking down the street, I just accidentally have a PhD. It's my age.
My advisor was like, Meredith, just keep going. You're so close, and your master's thesis was so well put together. Just add to it. And I was young, and I figured, why not? When am I ever going to get this chance again? And it worked so well into my master's because my thesis was about the life expectancy and life satisfaction. And then my PhD is in strategic planning and behavior modification and people's behavior and how that affects every other decision that they make, even their happiness, because of course life and consequence. And it just worked out so well, and I could still teach and I could still do other things, and it just made it so much easier to get jobs and to be more flexible and to kind of bargain my worth. And it seemed so seamless. I worked hard, endlessly, day and night, but it seemed seamless, and I really enjoyed it. And I've used every one of my degrees because I'm the kind of person I have give my daughter all of my time, but I still have 2 and 3. It's nice to have multiple streams of income because in this economy and just life, you just never know. And I want to give my daughter the best. I enjoy a certain lifestyle. I like to give. So it's just been able to allow me to have so many different avenues of income and interest, and I'm never bored. I don't know what that is.
I can imagine. It's interesting. I'm sitting here, I'm thinking, I like going to masterminds and that kind of thing and meeting other marketers. And I always get a kick from being the stupidest person in the room, because if you're the stupidest person in the room, then clearly you're in the right company. That must be impossible for you.
Sometimes. I feel like everybody has their niche. Everybody's brilliant in one area. I wouldn't go into an operating room and try to perform a craniotomy, but I try to learn and try to be proficient enough to hold a conversation. Mm-hmm. My mom's husband, he's to me the most brilliant person, and he used to make me nervous because he was probably the only person in the world that had me shaking in my boots. I felt like I could never compare to his intellect. Yeah. And then one day, ironically at a funeral, I realized he puts his pants on one leg at a time just like I do. So it kind of, and now I'm just like, hey, if I don't know, I'll go to somebody who finds out to find out. And if I do know, I'll share what I know and try to be, even keeled about it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So it's interesting because there's always obviously the sort of the exceptions to the rule, I guess, and we're going to prove this here with yourself. But when tend to interview entrepreneurs, etc., they don't, on the whole, in terms of formal study, don't tend to have been that great. They tend to be really good learners and pick out entrepreneurial books, and they read a lot. You hear this, obviously, sort of a lot of successful people. They don't watch TV, they just sit and read and learn, etc. But don't tend to have gone down that formal route and have conformed within what we consider to be education. So obviously, for you to do that and then go out into the entrepreneurial world, you're quite unusual, I think, from that point of view.
It's been interesting. I always knew I wanted to have my own business, and it started out in college. I've gone to school to be a teacher, 4 generations of teachers. I wanted to be a rebel, but then I wanted to have something to fall back on. So I got this paper about selling air purifiers, and I thought, well, I can't sell a walking stick to a blind person. How am I going to do this? I went to the meeting, and I blew it out of the water. I was number 1 for my team. And then I started mediating. That was my side practice. And then I got into sales again, and I was corporate-wide number one, team-wide number one, and it was so effortless. And I know that, so many people work so hard, and I do work hard. It's just when I want something, I go after it with everything I've got, and I let nothing get in my way. And so for me, sales is just selling a feeling. How am I going to get you from where you are to where you want to be? And that's what we're all doing, a transformation and a feeling. You're not buying a house. You're not buying just 4 walls. You're buying memories, dinners at the table, Christmas, Thanksgiving. When you buy a hat, you're not just buying a hat. You're buying a warm head. And if it goes over your ears, not having an ear infection. I'm prone to ear infection, so I'm real particular about that. So it's what kind of transformation and what kind of feeling. And when you get people feeling that warm and fuzzy and make it almost impossible for them not to want to go after what you have, and then of course you create a sales funnel and you create passive income, then you can relax some. I think of passive income. It's not really passive. You do all the work at the beginning, and then you're benefiting from it later on. So you just need to set those things in place to where you get to do what you love, show your expertise, help other people, but also make life just a little bit easier in whatever capacity you can. Life's hard enough.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. It was interesting before we sort of came on air here. I was saying to you about, obviously going to ask you about the sales side and mm-hmm. sort of and sales calls, etc. Because clearly doing all of that is your skill, etc. But one of the things I like to do on the show here, as I said, is ask people their backstory, which obviously we've sort of got the start of that, because it's a real great way to help the viewers and listeners to think, well, if they can do it, I can do it, the position they've been in, etc., etc. So the thing that really interested me with yourself was the fact of, you had that corporate job. Mm-hmm. And you made that transition across to being solopreneur, being home-based, etc., etc. So could you talk us through that, the transition? How did it come about? Obviously, I guess, say the birth of your daughter, etc. But I guess there was already the feeling there that you felt you wanted to leave.
I love being, I like people, but I don't. I'm an introvert. And being able to skip the water cooler and skip the office politics and that angst when your manager says, can I speak to you in my office? It could be for a promotion, but that whole day is ruined because you're like, oh my Lordy, what have I done? And I just wanted to get away from that. And I really I cannot get enough of being my own boss. I am typically a late riser, but I go to bed late because I'm up later in the evening and night than other people. And to be able to set my own schedule and not have a cap on how much I make, because I don't have servants or anything, but I love to travel. Mm-hmm. I love to eat great food. Some people eat to live. I live to eat. I love food, and I love nice drinks, and I like to spoil my daughter, and I don't want to worry about only having 10 sick days or only having 12 vacation days. And my grandmother was sick last year, and I got to spend a whole month with her, and that was the most amazing thing. But it's hard to take off from a job for an entire month. Mm. And I homeschool my daughter. It's hard to homeschool when you're working 9 to 5. I don't want to miss any moment. She's my first and last, and I knew that going into it. And I like to see my friends, and I like to just sit and veg. So it's nice to have that schedule. And when I realized that I could do so much with my skills, mediation, coming to a resolution, and sales, selling a feeling, and teaching, having been a principal, which I prefer teaching, not principling, it's not fun, for me anyway, then I'm still getting to merge all that. My legal background, I do contracts for my clients. I can help them with their contracts, with their clients, and it's a nice flow, and it allows me to use, and the psychology of the way things work. So being in corporate America, having been a teacher and a social worker and doing all these different things, the opportunity to merge them all, plus have my own schedule, plus set my own rate. And the biggest thing I like to tell people is the confidence to do it. I did not grow up with a lot of confidence. I was called Four Eyes, Oreo, Fatso, all these things. Mm-hmm. And being as smart as I was, a lot of people, nerd and all that. And it's easy to get your confidence, tampered with and stomped down. And so growing up, I had to bolster my own confidence. And it didn't start at the beginning. I probably didn't start getting confident until around 17, 20s. And then I went to college, found my voice there, started to do I've always done really well in school, but when you're being picked on, it doesn't feel all that great, and you don't feel so bright, and you kind of hate that you are that bright. And I've always done things differently. The person that I married, my religion, everything I've ever done has always been kind of a blaze your own trail kind of thing. So I figured if I've always blazed my own trail, and I've always been, outcast or different, may as well just start my own business where I don't have to deal with all of that. So, and being my own boss, I'm, employee of the month every month, employee of the week. I do my own reviews. I mean, I get testimonials from my clients, but it's the best of both worlds, and I get to choose how I help my clients. I set my own rate, so it lets me be able to put the energy in and know that I'm paid my worth, and to be able to be flexible when my clients need a payment plan or something like that. Not always are you able to offer that when it's not your company. Yeah. But this is just awesome for me. I get to do everything I want to do and make money doing it. I mean, what could be better?
Cool. No, it's completely concur with that. So was it a question then that you had your daughter and you just thought, do you know what? I'm not going back, and you started, or how did it sort of?
I was teaching, and I was also in corporate America. I've always had 2 or 3 gigs at a time, and they've all been full time. Hence why I don't sleep much. And so I had her, and I, in my heart, knew when I left that Wednesday, I wasn't coming back. They didn't know that, but I knew in my heart I wasn't. So I took an extended maternity leave. And I just knew I packed my things when I left. Like, I wasn't coming back. And I already lined up a substitute and everything for the rest of the year because I had her over winter break. And I'd already decided with my corporate job, I got someone to fill in for me. And I kind of transitioned them really easy from like November to the beginning of when I left. And so about 2 weeks before I was supposed to go back to both jobs, I was like, I'm not going. I'm going to just pray and hope that something works out. I had my mediation firm, but even I'd slimmed back from that because I wanted to give her the majority of my time. Mm-hmm. And so when they called me to say, Meredith, when are you coming back? Dr. Watson, when are you coming back? I said, well, I'm not coming back. And then I got another position to mediate from home. And then I started, and it's really nice. And I say this, if you have a following or if you don't, it's not hard to get one, especially if you're on social media. If you know how to nurture your, emails, just start that. It's really simple to do. And I actually help my clients who don't have any visibility do social media so that they can, gather a following and start making money immediately. And so I just started to kind of, what I've been doing for my clients, started doing for myself. Mm-hmm. Got myself out there, became more visible, started doing some free consultations. I still do them, and just kind of getting my name out there and letting people know what I do and figuring out who my clients are, like who am I going to serve and how I'm going to serve them. And literally with my daughter nursing on one leg, I was helping clients with the other, and my business just grew. My first month in business officially, I had a 5-figure month. I signed 12 clients. And I wouldn't say I didn't know what I was doing. It was just so brand new. And to have that kind of success was, to me, phenomenal. And I've been doing very well, and I help my clients do the same thing. I don't keep my secrets, behind the scenes. I know that some won't work for them because of their niche and what they do. But the transition really was, I looked at my little girl and I knew I could not leave her, but I knew I had to eat and I knew she had to eat. So it was a matter of how are we going to do it? And her father's wonderful. I mean, I had his, but I'm the type of woman, I like a check that comes in with my name on it. Mm-hmm. And if I don't have it, I'm so hard to live with. It bothers me. Yeah. And I commend people who that doesn't bother them, but I don't know. I guess when I go to the shopping, I don't want to have to hide my bags because I'm going shopping. It's going to happen. So I just bought, and when I went out to eat, those kinds of things, I like having my own money and I like doing my own thing. And it's just, I think if you have determination and you get the right help, nothing's impossible. You can have it if you really, really want it.
Absolutely. No, absolutely. Just that's to go from a standing start to a 5-figure month in the first month is just awesome. So I guess to say, people are going to be sort of sitting here and thinking, okay, so what was the trick? What did she do? How did she do? But literally it was just going on social media and just, you had an idea of what it was you wanted to do for people. Yes. Or
I knew I wanted to help them. And so I looked at my expertise, and then what I tell my clients is if you don't have a leverageable skill, what would you do if you could do anything you wanted to do and you weren't going to be paid for it? Or if your dream job, what would that be? And if you can't think of any of that, what do people come to you for? Mm-hmm. Everybody has something that people come to them for. Financial help, how to get their mind straight, with overcoming limiting beliefs. People would come to me for getting themselves grounded, right. Finding, the tree in all this forest of gobbledygook that they found themselves in. My friends have and always had, I guess they will continue to come to me, to kind of figure things out, to kind of get the main picture and to find a resolution. And with other businesses that I help, they're stuck in some capacity. Maybe they're not making the money that they want to. Maybe they're not visible enough. They're doing everything, but the clients aren't coming. Well, I help them with social media ads because that's where it is. Mm-hmm. And there's millions upon millions of people on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram. And it's, just getting your name out there. And, I believe in, establishing value and giving value. But you have to get your name out there. You have to show people that in this mass population, you stand out. And I give the example of Walmart. There's 4 Walmarts near my house. I go to the one that's 20 minutes away because they have everything I want. There's an arcade nearby so I can let my daughter play while I grocery shop or right after. There's a couple restaurants we can go to before or after I grocery shop. And the personnel are always so nice and so willing to help me. Now, there's one literally in my backyard, but I can never find what I want. The personnel, they're always on break and won't help me. And there's nowhere to eat in there. They barely have a pharmacy. So there might be hundreds of thousands of sales coaches. There might be other visibility coaches. But how do you stand out? And I don't just help coaches. It's anyone who wants their business. My first client was a janitor who I helped grow to 6 figures. He's now a music therapist.
Okay, as ever, pulling down the curtain at the 20-minute mark, and I'm sure you can see already Meredith is one smart cookie. She is living the dream. She has made that transition from academia, from the corporate workplace, and has chosen to work from home. She's schooling her daughter from home, and she's running a business where she is helping other people to create an income for themselves from their passions. And you'll see in the rest of the interview that what Meredith shares, we go far more deeper into what people need to be doing to create that income from home, to create that profit from their passions. And you're going to learn a huge amount from the interview. So if you're not already at the solopreneurshow.com/Meredith Watson, you clearly need to get yourself there so you can get inside and you can see the whole of the interview where Meredith really does spill the beans on how to set yourself up from home, how she carried making that transition, how she's helped people. She gives some really great real world examples of some of the things she's done with her clients as well. So you really want to be getting in, listening to that and making notes, because you'll be able to put that kind of thing into your own business and to help yourself if you're looking to make that transition from the workplace, for working for the man, shall we say, to working for yourself. This is the interview that you want to be listening to. So that said, I think we'll pull the curtain down on the whole show today. Another great interview, and really loving doing this. I really hope that you're enjoying the show. It's the best thing personally I have ever done in my business, full stop. I'm loving doing it, loving serving you, and loving help you find your calling, whatever that is. So as ever, if you're inside of the group, please ask a question, anything you want. If you're here at the page, put a comment. If I can help in any way, shape or form that I can, I most certainly will. All right, so I will leave you to enjoy the rest of the week, and I'll see you on Monday for another Ask Anthony. Cheers. Bye now.
To get your hands on more great business training and advice, plus the chance to join our free Facebook group where you will see extended guest interviews and behind-the-scenes access to Anthony, go to www.thesolopreneurshow.com and join us today.